John in Canada. I appreciate you calling in. Given what the call screen is written down here, it says here you think that BLM is leading people to get hurt and they need God, and yet it says you're agnostic. So I find everything about what you're supposedly going to ask really confusing. So welcome, John. You're on with Justin and Matt.
Hey, John, how's it going?
How are you, Matt? How are you, everyday atheist?
Tired.
So, Matt, are you a Star Trek fan?
Yes.
Okay. Remember the TNG episode, The Drumhead?
Not off the top of my head, but I don't need to. Can you get to whatever your point was?
Okay. Well, in that episode, an admiral was on board. They see there was an explosion, and they did an investigation. And admiral was investigating. First, they started investigating the actual crime, but then they started investigating the suspect.
Okay, John.
The background, the history.
John. Yeah. I'm a Star Trek fan.
Yes.
I have a Star Trek tattoo.
Yeah.
I want you to get to whatever the point is that you're calling to talk about. I don't need you to go through an episode of The Next Generation. If you can't get to your point without boring the non-Star Trek fans with a walkthrough of a TNG episode, then we're just going to move on. So what is your point?
Okay. Well, first I want to say that BLM is harming Black people. Because it's teaching Black people how to not to commit crimes. Not when they're corrected by police, they're not being instructed how to do it properly. They're being instructed to resist arrest, which leads to people being killed.
Is that the full point? I'm waiting for.
No, and they're also not honest, because, as you can see, many Black Lives Matter activists use the money that they raise to buy things for themselves. For instance, one person got
John.
I'm highly confused why you called into a show where we're asking for evidence of God's existence and arguments of that sort to bring us the case that BLM is not supportive or good for the Black community. That's perplexing. So I'm asking, where does this tie in to the Atheist Experience and the whole point of the show?
Because I know that you support Black Lives Matter. Plus, Black Lives Matter is connected to Black Unbelievers, which Mendiza is a part of.
Okay.
Plus,
so
the Black community.
John, shut up.
Yes.
And listen very carefully. What difference does it make if Black Lives Matter has any association with Mendiza's organization, Black Non-Believers? I'm not convinced that there's any official link, but what difference does that make?
What difference does that make? You see, politics and religion are connected.
Okay. John, Black Lives Matter and Black Non-Believers, neither of them are religion. So when I ask you how this is relevant, this connection that you brought up apropos of nothing, your answer is that, politics and religion. I don't think that you actually have a point that you understand, John. And so we're going to move on.
Yeah.
All right.
That was odd.
Yeah, it was really, really weird, because it's like, okay. I know you support Black Lives Matter. Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean I support anything and everything that's ever been done on behalf of Black Lives Matter, because
that doesn't automatically qualify me as their PR or spokesperson either.
Right. Yeah. But it's like, well, they bought things for themselves. I don't know or care about, first of all, it's a decentralized thing. So, it's right. Like, which group are you talking about? What money, whatever. And then you're like, let's tie it to Mendiza's Black Non-Believers. Okay. So what? I mean, but this is the same caller that I had who's called in as a theist, then an atheist, now an agnostic, who says that Black people need God. I really wish we could have gotten to that part of the call. Because for an agnostic to call in and say black people need God is already a really curious little rabbit hole to go down there instead of
right.
the BLM thing.